They watched with delighted cruelty as the VIP donor lifted a bottle of expensive wine and poured it over the black woman's head like she was an unwanted stain in the room. Phones came out, laughter echoed, and security prepared to drag her away as entertainment continued. Through the dripping humiliation, she remained perfectly composed. No tears, no anger, just calm power. She set her handbag down, looked at the auctioneer, and delivered a quiet warning that froze every smile. "Make sure you know who funds this auction up before you touch me." The Crystal Crest Auction was where power dressed itself in diamonds and pretended to care about charity. Wealthy donors filled the ballroom, eager to flaunt their status rather than their generosity. In the center, under a massive chandelier, stood items worth millions: paintings, artifacts, history itself for sale to the highest egos. Ava Sinclair stepped inside alone. She didn't arrive with bodyguards or photographers. She didn't need noise to prove her importance. She simply scanned the room with controlled confidence and walked toward the front row. A security guard intercepted her. "Public seating is in the back." Ava didn't argue. "I am seated at table 1. He laughed as though she had told a joke. "Only VIPs sit there, billionaires, board members." "You should verify instead of assume." But assumptions were the currency in this room. He waved her off. "Find an empty chair somewhere else." Ava continued forward anyway. Lydia Ashford, the auction's most glamorous and arrogant donor, noticed immediately. Lydia thrived on attention and despised anyone she saw as beneath her. She stepped directly into Ava's path. "Excuse me," Lydia said, voice loud enough to entertain the nearby crowd. "This is an exclusive event. You must be lost." A ripple of stifled laughter followed. Ava remained calm. "No, I'm exactly where I need to be." Lydia scoffed. "Security? Remove this woman. She's cluttering the VIP area." Before security could act, an attendant revealed Ava's place card, VIP seat A1, beside Lydia's. Confusion scratched across Lydia's face. Then irritation. She sat down aggressively and whispered to her table. She must have stolen that card. Phones lifted subtly. The room loved a humiliation scene. The auctioneer began announcing bids. Ava raised her paddle. 600,000. 700. 750. The room tensed as Lydia's smile twitched. When Ava placed a final bid double the others, Lydia stood, grabbed a bottle of premium wine and, with a wicked grin, tilted it. The wine rushed down Ava's face like a waterfall of contempt. Gasps, laughter, recordings. "Oops," Lydia sang. "Look what you made me do. That bottle costs more than your life savings." Ava did not move, did not wipe the humiliation from her skin. She simply emptied her paddle again. "Continue the auction." The auctioneer hesitated. Lydia pressed harder. "She shouldn't even be here. Stop indulging this." Her disdain sharpened. "Fraud." Security closed in. The crowd leaned forward, the camera zoomed closer, the humiliation climaxed. Ava slowly placed her bag on the table. "Before you remove me," she said, voice steady and commanding, "verify who owns this auction." Lydia groaned. "There she goes." Imaginary titles. But the auctioneer's assistant checked the sponsor ledger just to silence the moment. Her eyes widened, then widened further. She handed a file to the auctioneer with trembling hands. The microphone cracked as his voice faltered. "Ladies and gentlemen, we appear to have a critical oversight." A hush spread. "Ava Sinclair is the principal owner of the Crystal Crest Auction Foundation." Silence suffocated the room. Lydia blinked. "That's impossible. I've been the face of this event for 8 years." Ava looked directly into her eyes. "Faces can be replaced." The assistant read further. She has also donated the single highest contribution in this organization's history. Security stepped back. Lydia's frustration mutated into panic. This is some kind of mistake. Ava finally stood. The entire room stood with her, frozen. You poured wine on the woman funding every scholarship represented here. You mocked the person safeguarding the artifacts you pretend to care about. You laughed while humiliating the founder of the very cause you exploit. Her gaze swept the room, phones still recording. You want a show? Then let the world watch accountability. She raised a document high. Effective immediately, all leadership positions are revoked pending investigation. Every donor linked to fraud or discrimination will be exposed to public audit. The era of elitist gatekeeping ends tonight. A few guests attempted to leave. Security blocked the doors. Ava nodded toward the live cameras. Stream it. Every word. No more secrets. The auctioneer complied, turning the microphones to Ava. Lydia Ashford used this nonprofit as her personal trophy case, Ava announced. Funds meant for struggling communities diverted to luxury vacations. Historical pieces hoarded instead of preserved. 6 years of evidence gathered quietly until someone handed me a bottle. Lydia's voice cracked. Ava, please. I didn't know who you were. And that is why you fell, Ava replied. Your respect requires status. Mine requires humanity. The crowd's loyalty shifted instantly. Lydia's allies stepped back from her like she carried disease. Ava issued one final command. Security, escort Ms. Ashford from the premises. She is indefinitely banned from all charitable institutions under my control. Lydia screamed the moment her arm was seized. You can't do this to me! Ava didn't look as she answered. You did it to yourself. The live stream captured Lydia's removal while donors around her suddenly evaluated their own sins. Ava turned to the auctioneer. Bring the next item. He nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. Yes, ma'am. Ava raised her paddle once more. This time, no one questioned whether she belonged. She owned the room. She owned the auction. She owned every eye glued to her power.